Welcome to a very special episode of On the Record. So, outside of my very unusual attire, tonight's episode takes us on an extraordinary setting that can only be described as a slice of paradise on earth, the world renowned Atlantis Resort. The reason for the journey? To dive into the heart of one of the largest, most vibrant celebrations of culinary excellence in the country, the Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival. So, over the course of tonight's show, we speak directly with the masterminds and creative geniuses who bring this festival to life. From the meticulous planning stages to the selection of world-class chefs and winemakers, we're uncovering what it takes to orchestrate such an expansive celebration of taste. So sit tight because you truly don't want to miss what we've got in store. You're watching On the Record, and our delicious journey begins on the other side of this break. Well, we're thrilled to kick off our deep dive into the Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival. I'm thrilled to have with me Jason Spencer. He's the Vice President of Marketing and Events here at the Atlantis Resort. And in many ways, they tell me you're the mastermind
carried away.
behind all of this. So first of all, Jason, we're honored to have you here with us today. And shooting at the beautiful Marina Village here with the Atlantis in the background. And so it's already a great location and a great day. So we're going to dive in with a great conversation. I want to start with really the origins of the Wine and Food Festival and what really inspired all of this.
Sure. Well, here at Atlantis, we already pride ourselves on our cuisine and our culinary outlets. A number of our Michelin star chefs, from Jose Andres to Nobu, Michael White, and we wanted to really solidify ourselves as not only the culinary capital of the Caribbean, but also of the world. And you know, it's one thing to have amazing restaurants, amazing service, but to take it to that next level, we really thought hosting a wine and food festival to showcase our capabilities here and to bring in talent to get a taste of Atlantis and to help us really spread this message of culinary excellence throughout the world for all our guests was just a fine way to do that. So that was the origins of it. You know, it started with our outlets here, and we just wanted to take it to another level and present them in a new way.
Now, for those who've never been or don't know about a wine and food festival, you think, oh, it's just somewhere where I come to eat. But it is so much more than that. But I'm going to allow you to explain to the audience really what the experience is like for people who attend.
Yeah, it's really somewhere to come and get entertained. And I always say it's like taking your palate on a journey where it's a number of events. We have over 25 events here and a bunch of unique spaces, from the iconic Bridge Suite to our Ocean's Edge venue that overlooks the beautiful ocean, where you experience different culinary cuisines and outtakes in venues that you normally might not be at, and more importantly, with chef talent that you really don't have access to. Mm-hmm. So I would tell folks this festival is something for everyone. It's over 25 events, family-friendly, adult themes. We have concerts. We have great concert talent in Wyclef Hezekiah Walker at the Gospel Brunch, and then, of course, the celebrity chefs that we're bringing in, headlined by Nobu, Martha Stewart, Andrew Zimmern, and all alike. And the beauty about it is we have everything from a small 10-person tasting event to 1,000-person tasting events and dinners and everything all in between. So it's truly something for everyone.
Now, you've talked about 10-person tasting up to 1,000 concerts, 25 opportunities or 25 events. Help us to understand what goes into organizing something like that. I can barely organize a dinner for 20 people. You're talking about multiple events with so many different opportunities for so many different things. How does it all come together?
Well, it starts with the great staff here at Atlantis. Our culinary team, our food and beverage team is second to none. Between them and our special events team working together. And then it really takes the entire property to pull it off, because the event is immersive throughout the property. So you might have standalone events, but we also have happy hours and free food and wine movies taking place, and poolside movies, and you know, all throughout. So it truly takes the village, the Atlantis village, to pull it off. And we planned this for over a year. So each year, immediately after the Food and Wine Festival, so come Monday, we're right at it. Seriously, we are right at it, planning again. We already announced the dates. So right after this Food and Wine Festival, please go to npiwff.org and sign up for the email. Sign up your email so you can get updates and lock in those
For
dates.
next year.
For next year. We don't stop.
So speaking of year to year and next year, how do you ensure that each year's festival offers something new and exciting, especially for the returning attendees, those of us who's been before or others who are coming back? How do you ensure those different offerings every year?
Well, the first thing we do is make sure we talk and listen to all our guests during the previous year's festival and see what works, where there was opportunity and what people are asking for. So for example, last year was a great festival, but we saw there was an opportunity to add more kid and family friendly events. So we have a host of new events focused more child-centric, where we have our Kids in the Kitchen series with Dolph Goldman actually teaching a hands-on lesson to our up-and-coming chefs of the world.
I should have started then.
Yeah.
It's a little late in life for me.
So between those events, so we're more kid-focused this year. And then we heard from our guests that they really wanted bucket list events, like events that you could not get nowhere else. So we really put our thinking caps on it and said, what will really wow people and give that priceless experience? We brought in Martha Stewart, who's hosting a garden party. Where are you going to get the chance ever to go to a garden party hosted by Martha Stewart?
I have so many questions.
We bring in Nobu, who is teaching us the art of sushi, a sushi rolling class for 10 folks in Nobu, right? So that's how we do it. We listen, we optimize, and we learn from our feedback, and we're just excited year after year to see the growth.
You mentioned something interesting, just creating those wow moments or those bucket list moments, but how do you really curate the program to appeal to the wide audience? Because obviously there's some people who want to do some specific things, but you're appealing to such a wide audience. Now, how do you curate that? How do you make that happen?
Well, that starts with the number of events that we offer, right? So the more events that we can offer, the wider audience we can appeal to. And we look at size, scope, and price point, target, whether that's family-friendly, adult-centric, and we try to provide a good mix of everything. And you'll see when you peruse the website that there are events all across the board. We even have a beach boot camp. So after you have a good time eating all weekend, you can work it out Sunday morning with Robert Irvine on the beach. And we have price points entry-level price points, really complimentary, because I talked about the complimentary offerings we have here at the resort with the movies and such. But event price points starting at $75 and going up from there. We have size capacity points starting at 10 people, going up to 1,000, and everything in between. So it truly appeals to everyone, and I challenge anyone to try to not find something that works for them.
And that's a challenge because you guys have so much going on. I know you spoke a little bit about the team effort, but give us some more insight into the behind the scenes and how are some of the roles even divided up with so much to do and so many people to cater to.
Yeah, well, you definitely have to divide roles and have team members and have a team you can trust to handle those roles, because it is a divide and conquer approach where we have an amazing culinary team who is working with the chefs on the actual menu, the celebrity chefs on the menus and all the ingredients and sourcing and everything there. Then we have our special events team that is concentrated on event production and all the logistics and ticketing and things of that nature. And then all the other resorts team, beverage, who put together an extraordinary beverage program at the wine dinners and things like that. So we have, each department kind of owns their own area, and a general project manager brings it all together.
Are there any, I mean, you mentioned Martha Stewart, you've mentioned Wyclef, who was a return. Before I even get to that, Wyclef was a huge success last year. And he's back on the ticket again this year.
Yeah, we listen to the people. If anyone who was at that concert last year would not question why he's back this year.
Not at all.
Not at all. It was one of the most amazing concert experiences I've ever been to. And for those who did not get a chance to experience, Wyclef literally played into the night, multiple hours, on and on.
It was a late night.
Into the crowd.
It was a late night.
He spent half the concert in the crowd with everyone around him, and it was just truly. I think that event and that experience really just brought it all together and showcased what this festival is about, and it's taking that extraordinary talent and bringing them up close and personal with our festival attendees.
So you're bringing, Martha Stewart and other big names, on the culinary scene, and a lot of international appeal. How are you still providing that authentic local experience for our visitors, whether they be visitors coming over the bridge or visitors to the island?
Yeah. That's very important to us, because the core and the backbone of this festival is really to provide that Bahamian culinary experience. And we've partnered with over 50 local restaurant partners and chefs to be a part of this festival. So from Wild Time, The London, Pink Octopus, New Duff, and I can go on and on for all of the partners that we brought in to be a part of a number of events to really bring that local feel to life. And I always say we are a global festival with a local appeal and a local familiarity. And we are doing that through and through.
For those who've never attended the Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival, what would you say to convince them that this is the event to attend? I
would first say, go to our website. Because when they see the website, mpiwff.org, and they see the number of events, the caliber of talent. Again, Martha Stewart, Nobu, Robert Irvine, J.J. Johnson, Jose Andreas, Alex Garnaschelli, Alon Shaya, and they see the nature of events, the venues that we're in. It's truly incredible, and they will. The light bulb goes off for everyone that this is a must-see, a must-attend event, especially how we curate everything and we bring people up close and personal. We're right here in Cafe Martinique, where we host our gospel brunch every week. Super successful. But for this wine and food festival, we're going to take it up a notch, and we brought in Hezekiah Walker, Grammy Award winner, who usually plays venues that hold multiple thousands of people, is playing right here in Cafe Martinique in front of a crowd of 100. You can't get that anywhere.
You can. You know, I just want to say, first of all, that Jason, this is an amazing undertaking. You guys are, you know, you are to be commended just for attempting to pull it off. I came last year. I do plan to drop in for a bit this year, but you know, thank you for bringing another great event, and particularly for people on island who are always looking for something to do. This is just, you know, another one of your great events that give us an opportunity to do something different.
No, and that's our goal, and we are so appreciative of how the island has embraced Atlantis and this event. We have numerous patrons from on the island and the family islands that come to these events, not only as a customer, but like I said, participate as a vendor and a partner, and that's what it's all about. It's all of us coming together to solidify our stake as the culinary capital of the Caribbean.
I like the culinary capital of the Caribbean. We're going to end on that note. Jason Spencer, thank you so much. Vice President of Marketing and Events here at Atlantis. Great job. All the best over the coming days. I know you got a huge job ahead of you, but if last year's any indication, I'm sure it'll be just as great this time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for your support.
Thank you as well. Stay with us. We're going to be back with more On the Record right after this. And welcome back. You know, sometimes I think I have the best job in the world just because of where it takes me and sometimes the wonderful folks who I meet. So during our exploration of the Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival, we have the distinct, and I say distinct, pleasure of welcoming someone we call a titan in the world of food and culinary arts, Lee Schrager. He's a visionary who founded the South Beach Wine and Food Festival, an amazing event known the world over and really set the standard for food festivals, thanks in part to its partnership with the Food Network. First of all, Lee, welcome to On the Record.
I love to be on the record, rather than off the record, and it's great to be back here, my second home.
Well, we're happy to have you back. So
Thank
we're going to really start with a journey. If you could share with us your journey into the world of food and wine festivals, and really what sparked your interest in the field.
Well, people think that I do the wine and food festivals, and that's my job. That is not my job. I actually have a great daytime job. I handle communications for the largest distributor of alcohol in the nation, Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, which now owns a distributorship here in the Caribbean, so it makes it even more enticing, you know, to be involved in a festival like this. 25 years ago, I attended the Aspen Classic, the real granddaddy of wine and food events, very exclusive, very small, in Aspen, Colorado, and I went there. Friends took me for my birthday, and I remember on the plane ride home thinking, wow, that was amazing in the beautiful mountains of Aspen. The only thing better than that would be doing it on the beautiful beaches of South Beach, you know, kind of taking it from the mountains to the beach. And that's how the whole idea came about. I got home, it was a Sunday night, and I remember my Monday morning, this is probably before the days of iPhones and computers. Maybe we had, I don't know, maybe we had computers. You know, talking to a friend of mine and saying, hey, I want to do this. And he said, I love it, let's do it. And that's really how it started. And we started, it was just something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that would promote the Chaplain Hospitality School at Florida International University. I wanted to do something that would promote the great culinary scene that was just beginning to happen in Miami. And I wanted to do something that would give back to the community and give students the opportunity to be part of something great.
We'll talk a little bit about that give back, but let's talk about your capacity with this wine and food festival, the Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival. How did you become involved with this?
I became involved through friends. I came down here and met with Audrey Oswell, the CEO of Atlantis. And, you know, she told me what they wanted to do and why they wanted to do it. And it was a very different meeting than a lot of meetings I've had over the last 24 years where people say, oh, we want to do a South Beach Wine and Food Festival. We want to do the New York Wine and Food Festival, which I also created. They wanted to do something that was about the property and about the island and about the locals. So it wasn't people who wanted to do what's already been done, because that wouldn't be exciting for me. What was exciting that they really wanted to profile the talent on the property and really incorporate the local people.
That was a far different approach.
It was a totally different approach. And I love the idea that they cared about the businesses on the island, that they just weren't keeping it to, you know, the Jose Andreses and Michael Whites and the great chefs here on property, Nobu. They wanted to be inclusive of the island, and that's what really excited me, coming down here and meeting the locals, falling in love with the food and the diversity of the island, and that's what sold me. That they didn't want to be the largest wine and food festival. They didn't want to be the biggest. They really wanted to be what was right for the property and what was right for the island, and that's really, you know, what I love the most.
Would you say mission accomplished?
I would say we're well on our way.
Okay, good. Well, the South Beach Wine and Food Festival is to eat, drink, and educate. What would you say is the mission of the Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival?
I would say eat, drink, and include. Include being inclusive. I love the idea of, you know, being inclusive. I'll come up with a better tagline. I don't think that's one that I'd want to own right now, but eat.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress,
Right.
like the festivals.
All right, so with that being said, we understand that there's a collaboration between FIU's School of Culinary Arts and their current programs in collaborate. Are there any current programs, or do you see a future for something like that with the University of the Bahamas?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, it's something we've talked about, something we definitely want to do. I visited the school down here, the university. I think, you know, after this, our second year this weekend, I think we want to begin to see how we can incorporate the students and the school and make them part of it. I think that the opportunity for students anywhere, but especially here in the Bahamas, to cook along some of the greatest chefs in the world and to be with some of the greatest winemakers and be part of something that's so important for the community is something that they can't get anywhere.
So I'm one of these patrons who just shows up and I enjoy, and I don't think about what's happening in the back of the house or how it got there. I'm just making sure my glass is filled up and my plate is always in my hand. But help us to understand the experience and what goes into that, the effort of putting on a festival like this.
You know, I would say it takes a village. I hate to coin that phrase, but
You're not the only person who's that.
I'm sure. You know, the festival is not just about Audrey Oswell, the CEO of the property, or Lee Schrager. It's about a whole team of people here working at this property who are also proud of the property and proud of the local community. I always say I want the festival to look like the community. And I think that was really my goal here. I wanted to look like the people who live here. And that's so important, you know, in doing anything, that you want to be inclusive.
In a rapidly changing world, I mean, we change from day to day sometimes, you know, hour to hour. How do you envision this particular wine and food festival evolving over the next few years? It's only in its second year. So where do you see the room for growth, or what could this be? I mean, interestingly, you said they didn't want to be another food festival. They wanted it to be its own unique, operation or creation. But where do you see the future, or what is the potential, you think, for this?
If you look at the quality of the talent that this property has, and just the commitment of the employees to giving back, and just how proud everyone is of their restaurant. So whether it's Alan Shaya's new restaurant here, or Michael White, or Nobu, or Jose Andres, or even Shake Shack now, I think that they're looking to. There's something for everybody, and I think that's so important.
That's the inclusion I think you talked about.
It's the inclusion. I think there's some, if you don't want to go to a large event like our Jerk Jam or the taco event, go to a small dinner. You don't want to go to a small dinner, go to one of our small, intimate, hands-on master classes. I think there really is something for everybody. It's important to me. It was important to the property. And I want to see this in a few years as being the finest, most respected wine and food festival in the Caribbean. We don't need to be the biggest. I think we are the best already, so I'm not worried about that. I think if we can continue to keep it fresh, to change every year, and to make sure that we incorporate and listen and see everybody, I think that would be my goal.
I think it's a really realistic goal as well, and certainly well on your way. Now, for anyone who's watching this program or gets in on this portion of the interview that's never attended this wine and food festival, what would you say to them to convince them to come, and what's the thing that they should really try to experience as a novice of a wine and food festival?
I would tell people, not that we don't want to sell tickets, I would tell people you don't have to go to every event. You don't have to go to a brunch in the morning, you don't have to go to a lunch and then a dinner, then a late night party. You kind of lose the appreciation when you do too much in one day. I would say pick a signature event every day and enjoy that. So whether it's an ice cream social event hosted by Duff Goldman, or a wine down happy hour hosted by Martha Stewart, or a dinner by Michael White, or a collaboration with J.J. Johnson, who's opening up a restaurant here on property, I think do one event a day and really enjoy it.
I think that's great advice.
I think when you try to do too many, I think you just don't appreciate it as much.
Sounds great. Lee, thank you so much for stopping by and speaking with us, and congratulations on helping to bring a great event to the Bahamas. As a Bahamian who's always looking for something to do, this has been a welcome addition to the social calendar. So thank you for helping these folks to bring it here.
I hope we're sitting here and talking for the next 15, 20 years.
Maybe outside next time.
Maybe.
In the pool.
Even better with a drink in our hand or eating a Shake Shack burger.
There you go. Lee, thank you so very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Stay with us. Our program is going to continue right after this. And welcome back. We're excited to have with us a guest whose expertise and decision making plays a pivotal role in the culinary landscape that is being set up even as we speak. I'm happy to welcome Chef Stefan Holland. Welcome to On the Record.
Thank you.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about. Pardon the noise in the background if you hear anything. We're still in setup mode. So let's begin by really talking about your role. As I understand, it is chef de cuisine.
Yes.
So explain, what does that mean?
So chef de cuisine is the chef of the kitchen. So the chef of the cuisine.
I took French, so I should know that, you know. But go ahead.
Yeah, so they have me in charge of special projects and development. So I go to different restaurants and I help set up opening of new restaurants and new culinary projects here at Atlantis.
All right, fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the primary focus when you consider deciding on the vendors for this festival. So, you know, once they've decided they're doing the festival, how do you go about choosing the vendors or even engaging the vendors?
Well, first we start off consulting with marketing, and then we kind of like all come to the table and meet, and we ask ourselves what restaurants stand out here in the Bahamas, and then we could basically go from there.
Now, what specifically are you looking to bring to this festival? You mentioned that you came together with marketing and you looked at the kinds of vendors that are available, but what did you want to create this time around?
Well, we want to mimic and also recreate what they do in South Beach. And what they do in South Beach is pretty epic. It's an amazing culinary event. Every cook, every chef, every restaurateur wants to be a part of it. And this puts Bahamas on the map.
Sure. Is there a particular criteria for the vendors?
Yes, it's, when we sit down with marketing again, we go through all the nuances of which vendor we would like to have and what type of food they're doing and, who they are as a person. And yeah, that's sort of our process.
So really some personality, I guess.
It's a mix of everything.
Okay.
It's a mix of everything.
What do you want folks to take away from this event once they're done, once they've experienced all the food, the entertainment, everything together? What do you want them to come away with?
Well, I think there's two set of experiences. The one set of experience is like, if you're coming here to visit and you're on vacation and you get to try some amazing local restaurants. And so you can say, okay, when I come back, we're going to go to this restaurant, we're going to go eat there, I love this, what they had. And if you live here on the island, you're a resident, and you come here and you have this amazing experience and you taste some really good food, you're going to say, okay, I want to go and try this food, I want to try that food. I didn't know that place had such great food, I didn't even know they existed. You know, so that's sort of what we want.
So as someone who's attended these things, and sometimes you're just so busy eating, you're not
Yeah.
really paying attention. The goal really is, though, to pay attention to what you're eating and where you're eating it from, with the idea that you're going to revisit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you find that people, really pay attention and say, you know what, I love this restaurant, or I love this presentation, or I love these, this particular taste, and definitely I'm going to go back and visit.
Well, yes, I think if you're a resident here in the Bahamas and you haven't been to a restaurant, a certain restaurant, you try the food and it was great, you're like, wait a minute, where was this at?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go try it out. And if you're just visiting, you get to try all these amazing restaurants right here on the beach with all these great alcohol sponsors.
Great. So how then, though, do you balance the local and international selection of vendors? Because for Bahamians, we're going to come and we may come back to a particular restaurant. But when you have people who are visiting, how do you bring that all together and balance what we're getting, local versus international?
That's a good question. I mean, like Lee says best, Lee Schreger, he says, just like what they did in South Beach, they had a lot of celebrities come to sort of sell tickets in the beginning to let people know, what it's all about. And, they sell tickets, people know their name. And the future of the balance will be a mixture of celebrities, local and international. That's the future. And right now, they're sort of phasing out of majority celebrities, and year by year, taking a look at what did great, what Bahamas wants as well, and what we need to see here done versus what we do in South Beach.
We talked a lot about the cuisine so far, but this is the Wine and Food Festival. So I want to talk a little bit about the wine selection and what's that like? What are the beverages like? Whether they be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, what can people expect?
You can expect a plethora of everything.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
And then a lot of times we're eating, and you hear people talk about pairing wines or different things with food.
Yes.
Does that play a part too in organizing?
Well, yes. For the wine dinners here, we pair directly with the menu and with the drinks. For the walk-around tastings, it's just a melting pot of everything.
Now, and I've got to ask, like, are there any standouts, anything that you remember or recall, anything that you want people to really, really experience?
Well, to be honest, I think the 3 walk-around tasting events are something to remember. I think what I remember the most is the entire festival being amazing, and the energy it brings. So everyone involved to everyone actually coming to the event bring amazing energy. It's just like excitement, and everyone's very happy.
I'm getting, my takeaway from this is bring energy.
Yeah, bring energy.
All right. So
Feels good. Yeah.
last question. So beyond this year's festival, what are the future expansion plans you would like to explore and even introduce to continue elevating this event?
Making it bigger. I think we're going to keep slowly expanding it, making it bigger. That's something that we want to introduce. So we have 30 or 40 restaurants participating in an event, something massive, and also, we want people to come down here and travel here for this event. We want residents here to want to come and participate in it, or come eat and drink at this event.
I just love the fact that the venue has changed this year. Last year, I think we were on the Royal Deck, and now we're here with the setup. And this is wonderful. I mean, the fact that it's right overlooking the harbor and, definitely in the elements, I think it adds an extra touch this year. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. It feels like South Beach, and I am too.
We'll call it North Beach.
Yeah, right.
Because here we are. All right, awesome. Chef Stefan Holland, thank you so much for just spending this time and giving us some insight. We're certainly looking forward to the festival and all that it has to offer, and congratulations. I mean, I know it's going to be fantastic, and I know the amount of work that must have gone into it thus far. So, congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We're going to have. See, I'm so excited I can't even talk. We're going to have more on the record in just a moment. And welcome back. Well, my producer thought it was a good idea to put me in the kitchen to see if I can cook or to prove that I can cook something. Let's see how that goes. So I'm here now with Chef Byron Ravello. Welcome to On the Record, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, first of all, tell these fine folks at home what it is that I'm going to be preparing today with your help.
Perfect. Well, today we will be preparing ceviche clásico. This is one of the main dishes that we have here, one of the most classical dishes. It will be something that we serve in South America, the Peruvian ceviche. Of course, Chef Jose Andres being really thoughtful about the classicals, putting some of the flavors from the Caribbean in this case. So that's why we have the fresh grouper that we will be using today. And we will be changing some things. For instance, we will be using the corn. Over there, we use the deep fried corn. In this case, it's the roasted corn. We have the red onions, sweet potatoes, a little bit of celery, and of course, leche de tigre, that I will go and will let you know how we did that.
Sure. And just so you know, I helped to prepare all of this. All right. Go ahead. So I am your student. You.
Perfect. So one of the first thing that we have to start with will be the fish, right? So in this case, we have the grouper. We have, it's like a fresh fillet. I'm gonna cut it in half, so you can help me with this as well. Here you are. You have your knife here, okay? So just be really mindful about that. As I told you, let's go slow. What we want to achieve here is to try to get cubes, okay? That's what we want, because it's not only about the flavor, but also about the presentation.
Gotcha.
Okay?
All right.
So,
I'll follow your lead.
okay, well, I'm gonna trim this a little bit, okay? Just those pieces right there. Okay, so now what we wanna do is we wanna have like this. We're gonna cut it. I have this. There we go. Perfect. So we have 2 or 3 of these. Try to make them the same length. Very good.
Okay.
With those, we have more than enough. Okay. So now that we have this, we go and then we cut it like this to have this shape.
2.5.
Exactly. As many as you need. I have these portions a little bit bigger, so I will call them a little bit more.
So the portion size is very important, eh?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Here in the kitchen, if you don't control that, it will go on your food cost. So it's something that we have to keep in mind all the time.
Okay. That was not me.
So now that we have this shape,
Right.
from here we're gonna get the cubes.
Ah, okay.
So that's why we go from one side to the other.
So we keep going down. All right.
Exactly. And then from here we go and then we get the cubes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's keep in mind that we're gonna be serving this raw. So we should be only taking into consideration the client, right? Because if we make really big pieces, it will be a little bit difficult for them to cook, to eat it, sorry. And since this is the classical Peruvian ceviche, let's remember that this was created by the fishermen. When they went to the sea, they didn't have anything to eat, so what they did is grab whatever fish they had at the time, put a little bit of lime, salt, and a little bit of chili, and they eat it raw. And that
Interesting.
that was the whole thing that they eat for the
I
for the
never
whole day.
knew that.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way that this ceviche was created. Because there are different types of ceviches. In Latin America, for instance, we have many different varieties. In Ecuador, we have our own variety.
So does the variety depend on the fish or the ingredients?
On the ingredients and also the method that we use to, let's say, cook it.
Okay.
Because for instance, in Manabi, in my country, in Ecuador, we do cook it this, but only with the lemon juice.
Okay.
And in the northern part of Ecuador, for instance, we do cook it, we poach it in water.
So while the name is the same, depending on where you are, the ceviche is very different.
Yes.
Okay.
Precisely.
All right.
For
Makes
us,
sense.
it's like a soup.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, so we're done.
So now that we got this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it here. We always use a container to put all of the ingredients in here. Okay. Just keep that in there for a minute. Okay. Meanwhile, we're gonna be cooking. Okay. We're gonna be cutting a little bit of the onion.
Okay.
Since, for instance, for the sweet potatoes, the first thing that we have to do is we have to cook them. Once they cook, we cool them down and then we cut them into those cubes. The same thing with for the corn. We roast the corn first, and then after that we use that.
So a bit of preparation even before you get to this point, making sure that all of these ingredients are ready.
Yes, actually, for instance, here we open at 5 p.m. and then we start preparing everything from 8 a.m. because
Wow.
that's a long process to have everything ready for the service at
Okay.
night. Okay, so let's move on. Now here I have an onion. Okay, let me cut this here. So I give you 1/2. Okay, this is for you. Okay, let me just grab really quick a
Chinese
little
use
bit of
onion for
paper.
tuna. This is very different.
Just to it's only for the knife. To clean it a little bit. And one important thing here is that since all of this is raw and we keep this on ice all the time,
Right.
so that's one of the most important things, because otherwise if I will be serving the fish cook or the onion cook, it will be cross-contamination. But since everything is raw and we have it in a controlled environment, so that's why we can
It
have
is
it
all
like
safe.
this.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
We have
good
to take
know.
into consideration the well-being and the health of our customers.
Sure.
of course.
Very important.
Very important. So,
Okay.
what we do here is really simple. We want to peel the first layer. Okay. Just remember, we want to look really presentable, really nice. You can put it here. Perfect. So now, what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna cut these two ends like so. Here and here. Perfect. Very good. Allow me. Thank you very much. So now we're gonna do something that is called julienne. It will be something. Well, this is what we need to end it up.
So
Okay.
this is what we're going for.
Yes.
Okay.
This is what we
Understood. All right.
So how we get there is really simple. We're gonna follow these lines along the
Okay.
onion. So let me show you. So we go like this. And one thing, with the knife we can do different types of cuts. Okay. The first one will be chop. But what I want to do here is a slice. So I have to use the whole length to go. So it goes like this. I can start here, go like that. You can use your fingertips just to from the nail, precisely. You can go onto the back, exact. And then one thing, all of them should be the same size. Let's keep in mind again that we have to take into consideration that the client will be eating
So it has to be a particular size, not too
Yes.
thick.
precisely. As
Okay.
long as you have it the same length, very good. That's really good.
The art of cutting the onion.
Yeah, it's something that when this is one of the first things that we learn when we are when we're going to the culinary arts class, is to learn how to cut, because with this, as I said before, it's not only matter of presentation but also matter of cooking. Imagine if I have something really thin and then I have something really thick, so this one is gonna be cook before the other one. Okay?
So they all have to be the same size, so they
Perfect.
cook evenly.
Evenly, exactly.
Okay.
Precisely. That's what we want. So we have it here. Perfect. Let me grab one of the plates here so we can put the onion. So what we do is we put it here and put it down. It's easier for us. We have everything clean. Okay. Perfect. We have our onions ready. So now we will be preparing the dish itself.
Okay.
So the way that we do it here, we have our fish, the catch of the day. In this case, will be the grouper. Now we're gonna put a little bit of the corn. Okay. Since we're gonna do 2 ceviches. Okay. The same with the sweet potato. What I want here is to mix all of the flavors in. This will be really, really fast. Okay. And the onions, of course. Let's use the one that we have here already. I don't want to have everything overpower one ingredient on top of the
So
other.
you evenly
Exactly.
distribute the ingredients.
Exactly.
Okay. So same amount.
Precisely.
Okay.
And then here is one of the most important things that we have here. This is called leche de tigre. Okay. So basically what I have here, it will be a fish stock with lime, lemon juice, celery. We have some onions in here, and also we put raw pieces of fish. This
All
is-
in here?
Yes, all in
Wow.
here. We blend it up. We put ice as well
Okay.
to keep it cold, and then we strain it, and then we ended up with this liquid.
Wow.
It's called leche de tigre. It will be tiger's milk, translated to Spanish. And in Peru is something really funny, because if you go early in the morning, you want to have the ceviche. Before they serve you the ceviche, they give you this so you drink it in a shot.
Like by itself?
Yes.
It's a no.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the way that they make it over there. So here what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour a little bit of the leche de tigre. Okay. So as I said before, the only thing that I want is for this to mix it together. Okay. If I leave the fish in here, let's say for like 5 minutes, the color is gonna start changing, and then it's gonna be cooking.
Okay. So you have to be quick.
Yes.
Okay.
Precisely. Well, it all depends, as I said before, and where we are serving this. Since here we try to serve it as raw as possible, so we just leave it there for like a minute or so. Always we have to season it. We have sea salt to season it to the taste, of course, and just to give it a little bit of color, a little bit of celery at the end. Okay. So we just mix this together. Perfect. So we see that we have a lot of colors in here. They look nice. I have a good amount of everything to serve on the plate.
It's like it's blending very nicely together.
Exactly.
Okay.
Precisely. That's what we want. Okay. So now the last thing to do for us is just to serve. Okay. So what we do here, we try to put all of the ingredients inside of the dish. And as you can see, we have just a little bit of the leche de tigre, but we will end up putting a little bit more at the end. Okay. So I just
Is this one of your more popular appetizers?
Yes, this is
Okay.
one of the one that they eat at the most here.
Okay.
And since we are using the fresh fish, so that's why one of the other things that I want to showcase this, because you know it's really important for the public to understand what we're doing here. Once again, Chef Jose Andres is really mindful about the environment. So whenever he has his restaurants, he always asks us to use the local products.
Ah, so these are all local Locally grown.
Exactly.
Okay, very nice.
So at the end, I just put a little bit of the
little
leche
bit
de
more.
tigre.
Mhm.
And then, of course, since Chef Jose Andres is from Spain, what we'll be finishing is with these last three things. So we need to put a little bit of decoration. We have locally grown micro cilantros. Okay, just to give it a little bit more of color to it. Okay, then the finishing salt. This is a must all the time. This is not like the regular salt, so
It's
it
a
won't be
coarser.
salty. This
or-
is this is a Maldon salt precisely. And then to finish it all up, extra virgin olive oil.
Must be extra virgin.
And there we go.
All right.
That will be the finishing product
This looks amazing, by the way.
regarding our ceviche classic.
All right. So, folks, welcome to Jerome's kitchen. They say a fisherman never calls his fish stink, right? So that so a chef is never supposed to say his food's bad, but I'm gonna be as objective as possible. So this is really good. This is fantastic. So you would think with raw fish, it would have a very strong taste, but it doesn't. And I like the mixture of the flavors. You know, the Bahamas conch salad is big, but very different. But I really like the texture. I can see why this is definitely a hit here.
A lot of people like it. This is because the different texture, the different flavor that you have to it. Acidic, a little bit of sweetness there.
And nothing is overpowering.
Exactly.
That's what I like about it.
Chef Ravello also took an opportunity to teach me how to properly fillet a lionfish, an invasive species known to be poisonous. The chef wanted to share how to safely prepare one of the restaurant's most popular delicacies.
So what a difference a deep fry makes.
Well,
This went away looking one way and came back as a whole masterpiece.
well, to tell you the truth, one of the main difference will be the texture that we put into that, because we do, first we put it through flour and then through a butter that we make here on the house. And that's why you will see it's a little bit puffy, but it's completely cooked in the inside. That's basically one of the main difference. And of course, it adds a little bit more of flavor to the fish. But as I was telling you, I was really surprised the first time that I tried this fish, because it's on the sweeter side, which I like it a lot. And then since we serve this with the tartar and the calypso sauce, so I think it goes along really good with that.
Why deep fry it?
Why? Well, since this is one of the fishes that we can find here in the Caribbean, and since this is one of the techniques that here they like the most, so that's why Chef Andres wanted to go.
You like
along
it
the
fried,
side.
yeah.
Exactly, with flavor.
All right. So you can, so the lime is optional, or?
Well, actually, sometimes we leave a little bit of meat in here, so the
Okay.
client can grab the spoon and just
And take
grab
out,
it.
okay.
Exactly,
All
but
right.
mainly it will be the nuggets.
Okay,
that's why.
and we squeeze the
lime.
just a little lime?
Exactly.
All right.
It has the finishing salt, of course.
Right, okay. Got the lime in there. And we've got two sauces. The regular
Tartar.
tartar,
Tartar.
and this is a
Calypso.
calypso sauce. What's in the calypso sauce?
In the calypso sauce, we have the modern ketchup, we have the mayonnaise, we have the Old Bay, some spices.
We call it fritter sauce, just so you know.
Sorry?
We call it fritter sauce.
Something
All right,
along that
yeah,
way.
something like that. Okay, all right. So now comes the test. All right. Now again, it's very soft, not very hard. So I'm gonna taste it without first. Wow. It is really good. I'll split it with the sauces too. I'm not a big fan of tartar sauce, but this is pretty decent. And the calypso sauce. Yeah, that's the winner. This is really good. This is very popular here as well.
Yes,
Well-
yes. Well, that's one of the things that we like to have every day, but unfortunately, sometimes due to the weather, I cannot have this. If I
Right.
don't have this, I have grouper or snapper.
So we don't, as a people, we don't fish these a lot. Our local fishermen do not get a lot of lionfish because, they're poisonous and people just won't eat them. But we found a really good way to prepare them. So really, if you're a fisherman, this is a really good catch.
Definitely.
All right, good
Something
stuff.
really
Chef, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. You made me an intern. I won't even say a chef. I'm an interning chef, but thank you very much.
My
This has been an
pleasure.
amazing experience. The food has been wonderful. Techniques are great. And certainly, I'm sure this feeds into everything, pardon the pun, that the Wine and Food Festival is about. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
So I guess you're asking, how are we supposed to part ways when everything is just so delicious? We want to extend our deepest gratitude to our distinguished guests for sharing the sheer passion that fuels the Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival. Their dedication and hard work behind the scenes are really what make this event a landmark in the culinary calendar. A special thank you goes to our incredible hosts and family at the Atlantis Resort for their usual warm hospitality and for giving us a glimpse into the magic that makes the festival such a coveted event. To our viewers, well, we hope this episode has inspired you to join us at this year's Nassau Paradise Island Wine and Food Festival, or who knows, just go into the kitchen. It promises to be an unforgettable experience this weekend. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on The Record. We'll see you at the festival.